Hey everybody, and welcome to the third episode of the Copacast. I'm your host, Will Lisak, joined by Coach.
What's up?
And Correa.
Reppin'!
Okay.
And today we are talking about finals week and Mumps. So first off, we're going to talk about changes of final exams from college to high school, or high school to college. And then we'll talk about some study methods, how to manage your stress, enhancement drugs, controversial topic there.
Ooh.
Steroids.
And finals week mistakes, and then we will conclude with Mumps. All right, guys. So, how are final exams in high school compared to final exams in college?
Take it away, Coach.
I don't think that like my college, as far as my college experience goes, that finals week was a whole lot different. I think I might have put more. I put more pressure on myself in high school, I think, than I have in college as far as finals week goes. As a psych major, I have a lot more papers and stuff, so it's more like late night writing, which is stuff that I don't know, I thrive on that. So
You live for writing.
I don't know. I'm good at writing at 3 or 4 in the morning. That's just kind of how I've done it.
Side note, I've seen him writing papers at 3 in the morning. It's not that productive.
But it happens. I mean, there's never been a time when I have not turned anything in. That has not happened to me in college.
That's the nice thing about papers, though, because you can just, like, take breaks. Like, you don't have to keep focusing on studying. Like, I'll get done eventually, Like, I can just mess around for, like, 2 hours and then come back to it.
Yeah, I mean, eventually you hit that point where you're like, I'm just going to, like, just write another page about anything that's on my mind at this point at 3 or 4 in the morning. And that's not really a good thing, but I mean, I've always been able to, it works. I mean, I've done well. So, finals week isn't too bad for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had mixed feelings about finals week. I mean, I guess the transition from high school to college, in high school, I didn't really care about school until probably my junior year. It was pretty bad. I was like 250 in my class out of 500. I was like way halfway. Wow. Like I was not.
You brought it back though, right?
I brought it back to top 10%.
Dang.
Like by junior year.
You could have been like top 1%.
I could have done pretty well, but I mean, I just like didn't care. And then once junior and senior year hit, like I was like drink a pot of coffee the night before, study my butt off, and just like go in, get an A, because like I'm pretty okay at testing. I mean, it's something I do well, and luckily, I mean, most of my grade in college comes from tests. At least when I was pharmacy, and so that transition into pharmacy wasn't as difficult because I was used to most of my grade relying on tests. But finals week was tough because I was used to studying the night before.
Oh yeah.
And when you're studying for like finals week the night before in college, it's a lot more stressful. Like, a lot more stressful. So, I mean, I guess the transition into testing was fine, but the transition into finals week was rough.
Yeah, all the extra studying.
Yeah.
In high school, I feel like I didn't really study for any finals until junior year. And then for the finals that I did study for, I only studied, like, vocab. But I didn't really study in high school in general, but like almost all my final exams were Scantron, so that was nice. And I think the hardest transition for me would be not having Scantrons anymore in college, because I didn't have the answers right in front of my face, and I actually had to remember what the words were, and I couldn't just like see the word and be like, oh yeah, that's what it was.
You don't want Scantrons in college, man. It's terrible.
That's funny because, I've had actually almost all of my tests, I would say, have Scantron. I mean, there's like an essay part to most tests, but I mean, I'd say like 75-80% of my tests have been Scantron or multiple choice.
So Correa, you said that you don't like them in college?
No, I don't, because I mean, at least with a test with short answer or essay or like a show your work, there's partial credit. With Scantron, especially when you get into those harder classes, they ask a series of complex steps and whether or not they're correct. And you can't prove that 3 out of the 4 steps of the process, and so you get it wrong. Short answer of explain the process. If you get step 4 out of like 30 wrong, you're fine. You get most of the points, but you don't, necessarily get screwed over for making that simple mistake in the moment.
Mm-hmm. Are there any questions that it's like none of the above, all the above?
Oh,
like,
yeah, all the time.
Like A through E or even more
yeah.
sometimes.
Those are the
like
worst.
A through, it's like A, B, C, A and B, A and D, A and C, or B and C, or none. Like, it gets ridiculous.
Yeah. When they throw in the none, like they all or none, and then it's just like, I don't even know.
Yeah, you can't eliminate.
Yeah, it takes away from the advantage that you might have had before, I guess. And I don't know, it's freaky.
The worst is when you're like taking a Scantron and like they ask you a question. It's like, which of these is this? Like this type of thing, and you're like, I know all of these 3 are either not it or it. Like it's either yes all of them or no none of them,
Yep.
and you're like, there's like one word that you can't remember, and you're like, it's fuck. And it's so frustrating. I'm sorry for swearing.
Have you guys ever skipped a line on a Scantron and like started at the wrong one, and then you just get every single one wrong after that?
I did that in high school. In college, I was just way more careful because tests were worth so many more points.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
I did that on a vocab quiz in high school. I skipped number 1, just went straight to number 2, and just got every single question wrong.
And no, Scantron doesn't check if you did that, so your professor's like, you're just an idiot.
My professor let me retake it, though, so that was nice.
All you have to do is shift your answers down one.
Yeah.
Like, it's that easy, professor.
Yeah, well. My chemistry professor in high school said if we got every question wrong on a Scantron, he would give us an A. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, which no one tried to do that because you'd have to know all the ansers anyway.
Yeah.
To get all that right.
And then the off chance you get one wrong.
Yeah, then you're screwed.
You're like, well, I just have a 1%.
Right.
Yeah. I have a 1% on this test. Great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. It's like Russian roulette.
If I was a teacher, I would totally do that. So I said I don't really study in high school. Correa, you said you studied a lot?
I used to actually study a decent amount. I mean, I was really one of those like late studiers, so like day of test, I'm studying like study hall before class.
Yeah.
And like it worked, so I didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
But there were some classes like physics or something like that, like AP physics or whatever, where none of us knew the answers, so we would all like have a group study session and we'd all meet up and be like, how do these things work?
Yeah.
And I mean, there were some physics was really the biggest one, but there were some times, especially for like an AP test coming up, which is the closest thing I can call a college final.
How have your tactics for studying changed since coming to college? Like, how do you study for finals differently now than you do in high school? Or do you just study more in general with the same method?
Yeah. I guess things are different because since I switched out of pharmacy, all of my tests, I mean, I have some that are just straight exams, but a lot of my finals are projects and like programs that I have to turn in.
Yeah.
With like a slight test-based part. And so it depends. But I mean, even when it comes to those exams that are like, so algorithms or parallel algorithms, and we have to take a final and, go ahead and like write out all these processes. I mean, I start studying a week before, which is like not that early for some people, or even like a couple days before.
That's really good, man. That's really
good. It's so hard. And sometimes it's, the day before I start studying or 2 days. But, I mean, for me, that's enough. And it's so difficult. Even that is like a step up from going like I study the hour before to I'm studying days before. And, I mean, that's just really the pressure you have because in high school, I mean, you're taking all these classes that you really don't care about necessarily. And, some of them you're just in because they're the classes you take. Like, I know in high school...
That sounds a lot like my senior year, right?
Yeah. In high school, I remember I was like, well, I'm going to take AP chemistry because, like, I got to take AP chemistry and I got to take AP bio and I got to take whatever, all these AP classes. Not because, like, I wanted to necessarily, but just because that's what you do. You got to look good when your college applications and whatever. And so, I mean, when I took those exams, I didn't really care as much. But in college, you're like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I should probably not be really terrible at it. And I want to not waste thousands of dollars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. One thing I learned freshman year was to study with, like, a group
Mm-hmm.
for finals. Studying for me was hard to get used to, because like I said, I didn't study in high school. So I started off like studying it's like a week before finals freshman year, because I was like, okay, like I really need to study, and like I did fine, and then as I slowly adjusted to college, like I realized I could just procrastinate more and more, and like now I study like the day before, and I just figured out how to do that and be okay. Like some people can't do that. Some people can do that. I guess it just depends on who you are. But like a really good study method that I found is to get a group of friends, go to a quiet place like a classroom or something, set a timer for like 45 minutes. Everyone just study. You guys don't have to be studying the same thing. Just study. As soon as that time's up, take like a 15-minute break. Just hang out, talk, have fun, and then study again for another 45 minutes. I found that was a really easy way to stay on task and to study and not just like get distracted.
I agree. I've done that before too.
Fun fact, we have a Facebook group called Study Sesh dedicated to that.
Yeah. That's the group.
Mm-hmm.
That's the group.
I would never be in a group like that.
You'll get there someday.
Yeah, someday.
I will say, just this is a fun fact, because I'm in my social world class, which I love, and
He loves
we
it.
learn the term cognitive misers. And do you know what that is, Coach? You're a psych major.
No.
Whoa! I'm just saying. So we learned that term, and I think it's a psychology term, and because we went over some psychology in the beginning of the class. And it's really just the fact that people find as many ways as possible to conserve their cognitive energy. And so, if you can start not having to put as much effort into something, you just immediately stop putting as much effort in, because, why waste that space when you could be doing something else with it? And so, when Will starts studying for a week and realizes he can do it the day before,
Oh man,
it's cognitive mising.
dude, I'm smarter than I thought.
You are.
Yeah.
Your brain's just like,
Have you
we
heard
can take shortcuts.
Have you guys heard the quote that Bill Gates said? He's like, I always hire the laziest people to do the hardest jobs.
It's so true. It's like,
I think
it's
that's
genius.
a really cool quote.
Because I will say,
because they find the easiest way to do everything because they're lazy.
And like it really, in class, I remember for programming, even my professor says, I think being lazy is just like the best thing you can be, because you will write your code so that you don't have to do it. I mean, there have been times where I'm so lazy in some of my classes where I don't want to do the math or write things out, so I have written programs to do it for me because I'm so lazy.
Is that more work?
No,
to write the program?
it's less. It's more work up front immediately, but afterwards I just like literally type in the question, like
That's cool.
what they give me in the question, and it just spits out an answer, and I'm like, this is so easy.
Yeah, cool.
Because I'm just too lazy to go through and do it every single time.
Yeah. So what do you guys do to manage stress during finals week? Because I know I get stressed out during finals week.
I've just got to go outside. Like, obviously it depends on like whether you're talking spring or fall semester, but I just have to go like to the gym or play basketball, or just have time to. Just do the things you love to do. Make time. Like, you can't tell yourself like, oh, I can't play, video games or like Rocket League this week, or I can't I'm not gonna have time to work out or spend any time with my friends. You've got to make time for that, because if you don't, that's what
You'll be miserable.
You end up being miserable and just super stressed out, and you have no way of relieving that. Mm-hmm. So just making time for stuff that you love to do.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm really bad at stress. Like, the second I start getting stressed, I get more stressed because I'm stressed.
Yeah, because you're stressed, and you're like, God, I shouldn't be stressed right now.
And I'm like, why did I do this? I'm so stupid. I should have started studying, like, at least 3 days ago. Why not just wait till the day? Because I'm stupid. Like, I get really stressed. And I guess managing that just comes down to the fact where I sit there, and I sit back, and I'm like, if I fail this test, I'm just going to wake up tomorrow, like, what? So what? I failed the test. I still gotta just because I fail this test doesn't mean I don't have to pay the bills tomorrow.
It's not gonna matter. Like 2 years from now,
Yeah,
it's not
like,
gonna matter.
I'll take the class again, I guess. I
I
mean,
mean, you guys ever like at 3 or 4 in the morning calculate what's gonna happen if you get like a 30%?
Oh yeah,
I do that during the test. I always
During-
during the test. I sit there and I'm like, okay, what grade am I gonna hopefully get? What grade am I probably gonna get? And what grade is the worst I can get? I sit there and do all 3 of those.
I do all of that beforehand, so I can.
I calculate my GPA.
Yeah,
I
dude.
do like all that. Like, but I do it at like 3 or 4 in the morning. I'm like, shoot! Oh man, should have done something earlier than this.
It's probably bad that I do that before the test because then I'm like
got that
determines
pressure, man.
that determines how much effort I put into studying too.
Exactly.
So that could be bad.
Because there's times when you're in limbo, like you have like a very solid B, and it's not going to go up or down. Like as long as you don't get like a total bomb grade.
I remember,
like, I mean, there's just no motivation. Like I'm not even going to study because there is no point unless I get like 100. Like that's the only reason, and I'm not going to get 100. So
it's not worth the extra effort.
Yeah, it's a dangerous thing.
Last semester, I remember I was in a German class, and for our final, I was like, okay, I need a 98% to get an A.
Oh my god.
But if I can get a 65 and still have a B. Because I was at like a solid B. And I was sitting there and I just asked myself, how much more do I need to study?
Yeah.
It was terrible. But
So how much did you study for?
Not much more. I got like a B plus on the class.
There you go.
That's
and
not
like
bad.
I think I got an A minus because of some extra participation points. But I mean, the studying stopped pretty quickly after I figured that out.
Oh yeah.
Bless random extra credit at the end of classes though.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like
God,
it's just in there, and you know the prof put it in there just to save some people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My roommate freshman year.
Sue me.
You smoke hella weed?
No, he was getting like a C minus in a class, and he ended up getting 78 points of extra credit and getting a B plus or something like that.
I did that in high school, never in college.
How does that happen?
God.
Like I honestly didn't believe him, and then he showed me. I was like, "What did you do? Like, what did you do for that?"
Something.
Back to the managing stress part.
Yeah.
If you guys go to Butler, if you're listening and you go to Butler, go to the HRC when they have puppies.
Puppy day!
They'll bring like a bunch of little golden retriever puppies.
I can dogs.
And you can pet them and just like have them lick your face and stuff.
And they bring toys!
Yeah, and they bring toys. You can play with them. It's completely free. And nothing relieves stress like puppies. Or food. Food's another good thing. Just go out to eat.
Just start stress eating.
Yeah.
Get huge. That's what I do. I actually do that.
I gained like 5 or 10 pounds during finals week just because I stopped going to the gym because I need to study, and I start eating while I'm studying because I just like need to do something.
I feel like it just I
do.
It's terrible.
Some people use enhancement drugs. What is that drug for ADHD? Adderall, yeah. Have you guys ever used Adderall?
Okay. Yo, take it away, Coach.
No, absolutely not. Okay. No thanks.
Me neither. How about you?
I have never used Adderall or any sort of, I've just had a ton of caffeine, but never any like type of medication or prescription medication. But I will say, I remember it was sophomore year. And I was like, I just don't want to be taking these prescription drugs. And I mean, I know some people just like Adderall really helps them study and it helps them whatever. But I didn't want to really kind of dabble in that because I just think it's a cheap way out, and it can also like work against you if you don't do it, like take it correctly and you're not supposed to be taking it. But what happened was, I'm in the study group for our final the night before. It's all these people from my class all studying for our final the night before, like every Butler student does.
Yeah.
And, we're sitting there, and then all of a sudden someone starts asking if people are taking Adderall because it's finals week and everyone's like stressing. I was literally the only person in a room of my entire class of 20 people that was not taking Adderall.
Jeez. What college was this?
This was
college of what?
College of it was GHS.
It was GHS.
It's my GHS. I'm like, guys, this is GHS. I can just show up and
must
pass
have been a hard
this.
class.
No, I think, and I mean, part of it was they were taking it for other classes, but even still, I was really confused because I'm sitting there and I think, is everyone doing this but me? Because I mean, you just think statistically there would be more than one person that wasn't taking it.
But not that many.
But, I just felt really like the oddball out because, people even asked me, they're like, do you want some? Or like, I can get you guys some, or like someone offered, and I was just like, no, I'm cool. I'm totally cool, dude. But thanks for the offer.
I know at least 3 people that take Adderall, and they're all pharmacy majors. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not, but do you guys feel like there's a lot, like a high percentage of students that take Adderall on campus?
I have no idea. I know very little about Adderall, and I couldn't even guess. I mean, I think there's quite a few, but I don't know if it's a majority.
Yeah. I think it's a larger percentage than you might think. I mean, I don't think it's like 75%. I have no idea. Hard to say. It's like, it's the same, like, do you think smoking marijuana is a problem? It's one of those, it's like, the problem is that you're taking a prescription drug that is not your own.
Right.
Yeah.
There's like, you can have your own debate about whether or not you should be taking drugs to help you study, but the problem is that you're taking drugs that are not prescribed to you, which is like horrible. Mm-hmm. And I mean, not a lot of people do it. I mean, not even with just Adderall, but painkillers. That's a huge thing with painkillers. If someone in your family went through surgery and they have leftover painkillers, you keep them around for like something that happened, or like antibiotics if you're sick, like cough syrup. Mm-hmm. Like, especially if you're in a family and like all of you are gonna get sick, but one of you gets sick first.
Yeah.
And it's the same problem. It's bad. It's illegal for a lot of good reasons, but whether or not I think taking the drugs is a problem, that's a gray area.
Our last topic for finals week is mistakes that we've made. And I know, Correa, you've mentioned a story before.
Yeah.
About a huge mistake. Would you call it a mistake?
I was going to say, I don't know if mistake's the right word here. I think situation I might not like to repeat is a good word or phrase.
All right, let's hear it.
Yeah. So let me give you the lowdown. I have 4 finals in 24 hours. And the way it works is I had 3 in one day. Now, oh my God, holy shit. I had 3 finals in one day. I had one at 8 a.m., I had one at 12, and then I had OChem was a night one from like 5 to 8. And so what happened was I stay up all night Wednesday to study for the first one at 8 a.m. I take the final, get out, study for 2 hours, take the next final, start studying the rest of that time for OChem, get out of OChem. And then, so I'm 3 finals down. I've got one more afterwards, the next day at 8 a.m. I'm like, I gotta take this final, and I'm fine, and I'm done. But I had not started studying for it, and it was my anatomy one, and my grade was really shaky in that class at this point. And if I had maintained my grade or gotten a little bit better, I keep my auto advance. If I get anything below a B, I lose it. I get back, and I eat, and I procrastinate a little bit, which I shouldn't have, and then I kind of start studying. But in reality, I didn't start like doing useful studying until 4:30 a.m. And so 4:30 a.m. rolls around, I start studying, and I get to, I'm studying, I'm drinking coffee, I drink a lot of Diet Coke, a ton of Diet Coke, and then it's the next morning, I walk into my 8 a.m. final. So I've been up for 3 days at this point, haven't slept since Tuesday night, and it's Friday.
Jeez.
And so I go into this final, and I sit down, and I'm like, okay, this is the only thing keeping me from sleeping, because at this point, that's all I can think about.
Oh, yeah.
And so I sit down, it's in this giant room with every other kid taking the exact same final at the exact same time. I'm right by Sam Harmon, okay? Some of you might not know what that means, but it's like sitting next to Bill Gates, and it's you're just a scrub. And so... So I get in there, I'm like, I can do this. I'm exhausted, but I can do this. And so, the final was a Scantron, of course. Scantron, and then at the end, it's like anatomy, so it's matching structures with names. And it starts, the guy's like, all right, you got whatever amount of time, go. And I'm like, I need to do this as fast as possible-ish. And just like, get it done. And so, all of a sudden, I'm 3 questions in, I'm hitting my groove, I only skipped one already, but, I'm on question 3, and all of a sudden the professor just, like, speaks up, and he's like, hey guys, it's a little too bright in here. I'm going to close the blinds and dim the lights.
Oh, no.
And I just remember at that moment, Sam Harmon looks at me, and he just gives me the most, like, saddening look because he knows I'm exhausted. And I just look at him, and I just want to cry. I just want to cry because he closes the blinds, the lights dim, and I'm like, I could nap. I could nap in this right now. And I'm like, it's okay. I psych myself up. I say, you can do it. Just finish this final, and you can go take a nap and do whatever you want. And so I keep going. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what this body system does. This is whatever, because I don't remember this one. And I'm going through, and I'm finally at the end. I'm at the matching structures part, okay? I got about probably 10 questions left. Maybe not even, maybe 5.
How do you remember all this?
Yeah. I remember this. I was up for so long. This was the culmination of that time. And so, I'm taking this exam, and I'm in the end of it. I got like 5 left, and it's, I think, a 50 or 100 question test because I was at the end of the Scantron. I think it was 100 because it was the final.
Right.
But, I'm pounding it out. I'm like, let's go. I got 3 left now. And I look down to answer, the second to last one, and I fill in the bubble. Okay? And then I look at it again, and I'm like, wait a second. Was that the right answer? And so I'm like, wait a second. And then I just start erasing it. I was like, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is 5 plus 4 does not equal 9. And I erase it. And then I erase 5 more. And then I stop what I'm doing, and I put my pencil down, and I look up. And I realize I'm not taking a math test.
What?
So what happened was, somewhere along my test, I hallucinated that I was taking a math test. And started filling in... You started erasing answers I had already done and filling in ones thinking they were math problems.
Well, where did you get the numbers from?
I just literally was filling in bubbles saying these numbers
to
myself.
You're going crazy.
And it was at that moment I realized what was happening. I said, oh my God. And I look around. I'm tired. It's dark. I just erased half of my test because I thought it was a math test. And I just fill it. I just look at it, and I finish that test in 5 minutes. I go through. I finish the test in 5 minutes. I'm like, I need to sleep now. I finish it, but while I'm still like conscious enough to know what I'm doing, I look through it once, and I just get up and turn it in. And I remember thinking, this is why people say you should sleep, because I was doing that thing where you micro nap, and you don't realize you're sleeping, but all of a sudden you're awake, and you're like, what's going on? It was like, I kept coming into consciousness, and I was just like, there were periods where I'd black out for a couple seconds. And, I started hallucinating, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die here. So, I finished the test, and I go back, and, I'm chilling in Fidel, and everyone knows I haven't slept, and they're like, have you slept yet? I'm like, nah. I'm not tired anymore. I'm at that point where I'm no longer tired.
I remember that.
Whatever.
I kept telling you to go to bed. Yeah,
I vaguely remember that.
So we get back and I'm eating lunch because I finished my test because it was an stupid 8 a.m. test. I grab lunch. We all start playing Mario Chase. That was like our game at the time.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, have you slept yet? And I'm like, nah, dude, we're fine. And I'm like losing my mind, but I can't tell because like I was there. And everyone's like, you're acting weird, dude. So they finally lock me in my room. And I'm like, I'm not going to go to sleep. I'm going to watch Netflix. Forget you guys. And then I just crashed for probably 18 hours straight. Just did not move from my futon. Wow. Yeah, I just remember waking up thinking, I'm never doing that again.
So what'd you get on that anatomy test?
So out of all of those finals, didn't sleep for 3 days, horrible idea, would not recommend it necessarily, but the lowest grade I got on any of my finals was a B.
What?
I got a B on that anatomy test.
That's not fair.
So, moral of the story.
Way to go, though. That's pretty...
It works, but don't do it.
Don't do it.
It was terrible.
Heck of a story, man.
Dude, heck of a finals week.
Yeah.
I have never been as stressed as I was that, 24-hour finals period, or 48 hours, whatever, 3 days, I don't know.
You should be dead.
I mean, I've seen studies afterwards, like, as it's been a couple of years, and I've seen studies about sleep deprivation, and I just, read them, and I'm like, yeah, this is totally legit.
You took some time off your life on that one.
Oh, I probably did.
You should be on that show. I shouldn't be alive
right now.
Oh, yeah. I'd watch that episode.
It was... I would, if you've never done it, it's just a weird feeling.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Did you feel drunk? Is
I
that
felt like
how tired you were?
You could
I've
say
been there.
drunk because it went through different stages. At first, it was like I'm really tired. Then it was like day 2. I'm like, man, I'm like
Wired.
about to pass out. I'm drunk. At some point, you get like wired. You're
Yeah.
like, let's go. Let's study everything. I'm gonna drink this pot of coffee, then chug this liter of Diet Coke, and then ace this test. And then at some point, you're just like, what are words? I mean, I couldn't. There were times where I just stopped talking because I was like, I can't form sentences right now. I don't feel like it.
Yeah. I felt that way after just like a day and a half. I mean, that's about as long as I've ever gone, and I remember just like being like, I can't even speak coherently anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird.
All right. So, a lot of our viewers have been wanting to talk about this topic.
Yeah, it's been high in the request zone.
Yeah, so we've
Thanks
got
for all the requests.
yeah,
we get.
we got a lot of comments asking if we could talk about the mumps outbreak going on at Butler. And for those of you that don't know, mumps is a virus, a disease. Virus.
Korea probably knows everything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, shut up.
It's a virus that affects like your face or something. Your cheeks swell
swelling in
up,
your glands and in your throat.
It's not bad.
Your balls.
It's bad. It's not good. Yeah, you can even get sterile from it, I think.
You can go sterile from mumps.
Yeah,
Potentially.
but anyway, apparently there's like
Outbreak. I was specifically told it's an outbreak.
Yeah, there's at least 11 confirmed cases
On our campus.
on our tiny campus, which is not good because I think someone said
There are also cases on other campuses.
yeah. It's not just Butler's campus. It's all over
IUPUI.
Indiana. Yeah.
IU.
And
IU has it.
Classic.
the dangerous thing about it is the symptoms don't show up until like 2 weeks after you get it.
Yep.
So we could all have mumps right now and not even know it.
Probably do.
Yeah.
Probably do.
I know.
mean,
Korea, you got a vaccination.
I got a booster vac. So, the Department of Health of Marion County, gave out this warning thing, and Butler's requiring all students who haven't had at least 2 documented vaccines to get it again. But also, they're extremely heavily suggesting and recommending that you get a 3rd or a 4th.
I feel like you're speaking directly to me when you say that.
I'm not speaking directly.
Extremely heavily.
I'm not saying anything.
Nudge, coach.
Yeah.
Some people in this house don't think they need the booster shot.
I never said that.
It's okay. That's fine. I would like to see them have kids one day, but they can run their own risk.
Man.
But yeah, so it's just weird because there's just this huge push, and right now I've got an active strain in me. That's just,
You have mumps.
I have
He's
mumps
got
inside
the
of me.
mumps.
Korea has mumps.
I've got the mump police.
Yeah. I actually wore a face mask to class Monday because I didn't want to get mumps. And you know what? There were 3 people in my class coughing. So it was a good thing I wore that because I don't know if they have mumps
There you
or
go.
not.
Yeah, I mean
Saved.
it's crazy just how first it came up and it was like, oh, there's a case. I remember hearing about the first case and was like, oh, did you guys hear there's mumps on campus? And I was like, oh,
The mumps?
yeah.
I thought the mumps went extinct with the
plague.
The dinosaurs.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's we're getting emails, it's in the news. I'm freaking out because I can't go on an international flight if I have an active case of the mumps because I'm trying to go to Italy in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's just mumps is a thing, and it is the best way to put it is right now our senior house is on DEFCON 3.
Oh, yeah. Mumps is not getting in this house.
Yeah. We are
He's
we
raised
are
the flag
crazy.
outside.
Yeah.
I have gotten
It's orange or something.
Yeah, I've gotten Coach and Will to both start drinking green tea. That's how legit this mumps thing is.
Gotta be healthy.
Yeah.
We need to have some tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have made some for this podcast.
You don't want to hear me slurp it.
That's
But-
true.
It really is it's blown up out of nowhere, and it's Butler, what are you doing? Just cancel class already.
Yeah,
we all want it.
Do you guys think Butler's handling it okay? Or
Yeah, I think they're doing the best they can, but clearly I want them to cancel class. There's 11 outbreaks. I don't want to get sick. And yeah, I know I'm overreacting, but still, it's my life, man.
Oh, yeah. No,
Well, they'll explain to our viewers why you're so freaked out.
Yeah, 'cause, I'm-
especially freaked out.
I mean, I did say that, I have an international flight in 2 weeks, and my girlfriend's abroad. I'm going to see her for the first time in a while, and I'm not letting that get ruined by someone choosing to lick the door, the doorknob,
The doorknob.
and then
Lick the
me
doorknob.
going to open it. You know what? That's real shitty of you.
You
whoever
still
you
wouldn't.
are.
You still wouldn't get it. You'd have to lick your hand.
No, you can still get it just from
from
contact.
skin.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I'm wearing gloves.
Yeah.
now.
Like literally from a door handle.
Jeez.
I
So-
thought about wearing gloves, like
Yeah.
even more than the mask.
I am
I literally lost my gloves last week.
to mumps.
Yes. That's probably where they went, honestly.
Yeah, it really is. It's like terrifying because part of me is like, I'm not gonna be a person anymore. I'm gonna be a hermit. I'm gonna email my professor. Sorry, I don't want your mumps and not go to class. But you know, you can't just stop living life.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
I
can't
need
be
to go to
that guy.
work and I need to make money. I got bills to pay, but I don't want to. I want to sit inside and be safe.
Yeah, the inner child in us is just hoping for canceled classes.
The just me, the adult me is hoping for cancel.
Yeah.
I just want it. I need a break, you know.
I think it's a fairly rational thing to want. I mean,
Yeah.
I legitimately on Monday did not go because of my girlfriend's best friend basically has like confirmed mumps, and
No.
it was like, oh, maybe Allie got it and maybe I have it. I don't know.
Anyway,
Yeah, the
I
boost.
hugged her
The
today.
scary thing is the vaccination is only 80% effective.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
Yeah, it's like
it ranges-
85%, 80 to 80%.
That's on average. It ranges from 90% down to 64%.
Yeah,
Like
so it's
how
just
bad
like-
is that?
yeah, and it really is. It feels like, you know, I think Coach is right. It's perfectly rational because, yeah, part of me always wants class canceled. Of course, I always want class canceled. But, you know, there's a very rational part of me that says we should cancel class because, you know, we didn't notice this until recently. And in the period where the first person, you know, contracted mumps to where they showed signs and were isolated, they could have infected who knows how many people because it takes so
Absolutely.
long to come up.
I mean, it literally within the next week or two, I mean, you could potentially have, I mean, dozens and dozens more people. I mean, that have it in them right now that we will
Yeah.
not know about until like right before spring
Yeah.
break.
Do you think Butler would, like, do you think there's a threshold that Butler would have to cancel classes?
Everyone, that's like hearsay. that
Yeah,
keeps going
everyone's
around.
like, oh, it's
some
12,
people
not
say
13.
15 people, and I've heard 15% of campus. That sounds more legit, I guess,
think-
to me, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like a required amount,
I have
especially
no
since
idea.
I don't know, as a private school, I don't even know if they have to. Just like as an institution, they might. But I think there's at some point there's a percentage of the like campus population where they have to.
Yeah.
Where
Oh, yeah.
it's just unsafe for everyone.
Especially with spring break coming up, because, like, everyone's going different places.
Right.
And then we're taking it all over the
Right.
country.
Mumps is
Then
going to be
Butler
a
literally
worldwide.
infected the whole damn
Yeah.
world.
Oh
We're
my
coming
God.
into your home with mumps,
Oh my
everyone
God.
out there.
Hide your kids.
Yeah, if you see the Butler
Hide your
flag
wife.
like in
Yeah.
March, totally run away.
They
Oh,
have
yeah.
mumps.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Any of you who are
That's so
you know,
true.
adults
Jeez.
that are like renting out your vacation homes to Butler kids for spring break, yeah, you're getting mumps.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah, you want the bumps?
No one wants
You're gonna
the
get the
mumps.
mumps.
Don't get the mumps.
Coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's grown into it's a couple things. It's a serious problem. It's a huge joke because everyone's making fun of it, but also it's you know an interesting thing to watch unfold because we all just keep wondering, you know, what are we going to do next? What are we going to do when there's more people, even though we know this vaccine isn't, you know, totally effective? And the vaccine does not fully work until 2 weeks after you get it.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so like literally
So it doesn't even matter that you got the vaccine.
No.
pretty much not really, yeah. Doesn't really
Jeez.
matter.
At least it was free, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was free, and
you'll
hopefully
be-
someone knows science out there, and you can comment like, "Hey, you're all stupid. You're fine." But you know what? Right until then, we all think we have mumps, or we think everyone else has mumps but us.
You're either in the boat that says we're all getting mumps, or you're in the boat that says I can't get mumps.
Yeah.
And there really isn't an in between. And
No.
I've been in both boats though.
If you're
Which one are you in? Which
I
one
don't
are you in
know.
right now?
I don't know, because I have two. I've had two of them, and that's technically enough for me to not get the booster. Technically,
it's technically
but why is that a rule?
it's technically
you know?
enough for you to
Yeah.
get mumps.
But that's just my question though. Is like, why is that where they drew the line?
I
Like,
don't know.
I mean, I must be decent or something.
Yeah, I
don't
have
know.
two as well, so I just said, but the last one was in 1999,
Yeah, same with me.
so I don't know.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know if that matters.
I don't know either.
I don't
Let's
know.
just think about it this way. That was
Shit.
17 years ago.
I know.
Dude,
that
that's-
sounded weird to me too, but it was like that's the way they wrote it. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
if you have to, you're Gucci for now. So
I'm just not gonna worry about it. Just
I might
keep wearing my
tomorrow.
mask.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going into work tomorrow, so we'll see.
My other thing is like, even if I get it tomorrow, Like, I would think that this is going to be blown over by 2 weeks from now, you know?
I hope so.
like, post-spring
Hopefully,
break,
but like
I don't think Mumps
we
is
just
gonna
said
be-
that we don't know.
At
like,
least until
there could be
spring break,
outbreaks.
things are going to get crazy. Like, freshman skits this Friday.
Oh man, everyone could be.
I'm going to wear a mask. I don't
I'm
even
not
know.
even going.
Oh, I'm
because of
going.
it.
I have
Really?
to go.
I'll wear a mask and go.
But, oh my god.
I don't know,
It's
man.
terrifying. Like, thinking of any place. Like, I haven't gone to the HRC, and I don't plan on going until spring break's
I've stopped
over.
getting free meals from the fraternity house.
Yeah.
Yeah, dang.
Legitimately.
Dang.
Just went in there tonight just because the lavalier. That was it.
I had lunch
I
there
wore a
today.
mask to your lavalier tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ate lunch at the fraternity today. Did not drink from a cup.
I would not drink from it.
Yeah,
I would bring
I
my
have
own
not
cup.
drank from a cup. I only just ate, which is like kind of similar, but I felt better about it mentally.
Yeah, I have my one cup that I drink out of here,
Mhm.
and I use paper plates and plastic utensils,
Yeah.
so I should be good with that. All right, well that concludes this episode of the Copacast. Thanks for sticking around, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Reppin'!